EVMUX touts themselves as a revolutionary web-based live streaming and recording studio. Little AV skills required, fully branded live editor. They say that it's for streamed or recorded content. The price is definitely right, with basic plan at $19 per month and pro plan at $39. But can I transfer my live show, all its graphics, videos, and overlays for a seamless transition from StreamYard? That's the question. I'm up for the challenge, and if you are too, join me for the full video. So here we are looking at EVMUX, and this is what the dashboard looks like. There are some definite differences between it and StreamYard right off the bat. So once you get your account created, once you get into EVMUX, you will see this screen, and you can definitely see some similarities. One thing right off the top is that I, of course, have dark mode on. I'm going to keep dark mode on. You have what they call projects, right? That's what here on this main dashboard screen here is your projects. And I have a couple of projects. One is, of course, How It All Works. The other is Composition. That's the name of the business my wife and I run. And then this is Live Booster. This is a program, that a project, I should say, that was given to me, or I was assigned to when I was working with EVMUX. So some definite things to look at there. But if you just set up your own project for your own company or brand or whatever it is, you can have all your shows underneath one particular project. So below here, you'll see that we have studios. So studios are How It All Works, Midweek Huddle, and Amazon Live. Those are my studios underneath the project. So if you were to compare this to StreamYard, would be your project would be basically your company, and you have your companies in StreamYard similarly. And then you also would have your studios, which would be the names of your studios in StreamYard. And so in this instance, you can see here, I have K Media Producers, and I have a number of projects under that brand. But then I also have these studios, Test Room, Vertical Test. And of course, we do have the reusable links now. So one of the things that is really cool is that you not only have these studios set up, but these studios maintain the graphics, maintain the branding, maintain everything that you set up in there, regardless of when you go live or when you record. So that is something that's really good to note. A couple other things on the dashboard here, of course, is destinations. We're used to this. You just kind of have to go through the GUI to get that set up. We talked about the studios. Speakers is definitely different. Speakers are guests that you may have on your show. You can actually pre-design your speakers essentially and send that information through to them, invite them to create their own profile so that you have their correct spelling of their name. That onboarding process is definitely different. Then you also have collaborators. These are team members, similar to StreamYard, where you had members for your team, and you could actually go through and ensure that your team members had access to what they need to have access to. So then we have settings. In settings, you can kind of define what your project, or in this case, company, would look like. You have your title, your project name, you can see that there. And then you have the description, and you can set some other things there as well. So that is the dashboard in a nutshell. And it will give you some of your information in terms of recordings. If you have done previous live shows or previous maybe podcast or produced recordings that you're using EVMUX to record, all of them would be saved in these lists here, where you can see them on the screen here. So now let's go into the studio and take a look at whether or not I can actually transfer all of my show assets and actually get a good, clean running show here in EVMUX. So here is what it looks like after we've gone into a studio. Right across the top, I have my project, my studio name, I should say. but I can switch between studios, which is pretty cool. I also can edit my destinations. I can choose the destinations here, toggle them on and off. And again, I do like the fact that I don't have to necessarily go through and change those every time. You can change, you know, who you are or where you're logging in from. That's pretty cool. This is fairly standard. You can see this is the main program window. You have some layouts across the bottom here, and you have this plus sign, which allows you to create some custom layouts, but custom layouts are done in Pro Scenes. I'm not going to go into that just yet. We save that for later, but you do have the ability to do custom. I'm going to stay with dynamic scene because this is the closest thing that we have. This is the direct copy or direct mirror to StreamYard. So first thing I want to do is, of course, get a background, and I've uploaded my background for the coaching corner to the system. In order to do that, I'll just hit this plus sign and click on add new. I do like the fact that they have generate with AI. That's pretty cool, but I already designed it, so I can add new. And here I've got like a repository of all the graphics and videos that I've actually loaded into the system, which is cool. And then whichever one has a check mark next to it is actually added to that particular segment of your studio. So I can click upload new here and upload from my computer, but I also can just pick from the files that I already have. So clicking back, I already have this background here. Let's put our background on the screen and let's add our camera to the screen. We do that by simply clicking to add to scene. Add to scene. You can see I've got my background shot there. I want to go ahead and click on add another camera because I want you to see this. This is interesting. And we have the opportunity to select a camera, and I'm going to select my top-down shot. So this is going to be camera 2. Camera resolution, we can set it to 1080p or auto. Auto is definitely good. You have the ability to actually select the audio source, and this is one of their newer features. That's pretty cool that you could actually have two people at the same desk or in the same space, give them two different microphones and have them in the studio. That's pretty good. All right, EVMUX, I see it. So that's camera 2. I'm going to click add there. I'm going to leave the audio source the same because, well, it's just me. And I'm going to add that other camera. You can see how the layouts now take effect. I'm going to add one more camera, and it keeps on defaulting to my virtual camera, which is what I'm using to record the video. So, but we're going to just go ahead and select cam link. And now you have me on screen there. And again, not going to add in an additional audio source because it's just me. I've got 3 cameras. Can I add another? Nope. That's it. So, but there are 3 cameras that we've got added to the screen now, and we can play around with this. There are some different layouts that you can utilize. I do like that you can just basically click to spotlight one, or you can actually click and drag and it'll switch. You can click and drag and it'll switch. You can utilize this layout here. And again, all of them in some way really show off the background, and that's pretty good. You have it on the side as well. And again, you have that plus sign to be able to select Pro Scenes if you so choose. So we've already gone through background, and we've also gone through the cameras. Let's remove one from this studio. Now we have 2 cameras on screen. I'm going to put it into the cropped view. And then let's go to overlays. So now let's go to overlays. And now I have a overlay for the start of my show. So I would just put that up. I can see that that works. I have an overlay for my graphics, so you can see how that looks when I have both myself and my guest. I haven't redesigned this. I haven't done anything new to it. And so that seems to work very well. Now, if I want to just have a full screen of myself, I would want to have this graphic on screen. And there you have the coaching corner, and you also have my with Kirk. You have everything that I'd want to see. And I'm assuming that just by clicking on the spotlight button here, I can actually switch between them. That's pretty cool. Let's add back that other camera one more time. and see what that looks like. So now we have this one, we add it to the scene, and we can spotlight that one. This is actually how the coaching corner usually looks. So, and then just with putting up a graphic like this, we can actually remove this one from scene, make sure that it's cropped, and then click on this one. And that's how I usually do my transitions when I'm switching things up in StreamYard, and I can see that that works here too. The other thing that I normally do is I try to play some videos. And so here you've got my title and logo video, my bumper for question and answer, my bumper for, you know, client interviews when we're having the coaching corner, and then my coaching corner video, which is what I use to close out the show. I've uploaded all of those here. They were easy to upload, and I click on add new. I can upload a video, and I haven't really bumped into a issue with quality or file format. So that's been really good to know, really good to recognize that that's not an issue here in EVMUX. We can highlight over the question mark here next to video clips, and it will tell you that you have 1920 by 1080 and the max file size is 2 gig, but you can do WebM videos. That's a bit different, and you can also do MP4. So keep that in mind as well. So if I just click to show this 10-second bumper here, then I can actually add myself to the scene, remove these two, and go down to overlays and put this one on. And boom, when the video is done, I'm on screen with the proper overlay. And again, this is what I would normally do when I'm in StreamYard. So it's good to know that these tactics and strategies will work fairly seamlessly without much tweaking here in EVMUX. We also have the ability to play some sound effects. I've got the air horn. I've got several other sound effects that I will usually use in StreamYard. I've got them loaded here fairly easily. Also have some comments. This is just a standard comment here. And if I can put this on screen, you can see what that comment looks like. But I can also go into the brand area and select different styles for that comment. So here's one, style 1. This is style 2. Actually kind of like style 2. Probably going to stay with style 2. Here's style 3. And here's yet another style 4. Style 4 is probably the most compact, but I really like how style 2 kind of has that line across the bottom. You can actually go through and change some of your colors, change some of your branding. You can actually put a lower third on as well. And then you can actually select what those lower thirds look like, and you can make it custom as well. I don't see the ability to do custom comments, but this style that we've chosen will also take effect for banners as well. So we have a banner that we can put on the bottom there. I like how that just kind of, you know, transitions onto the screen. Really cool how they've done that. I'm going to hide this. And when I hide this, you should see my lower third in there as well, because that is under the brand tab. I'm going to turn that off because, again, I have my own lower thirds that I like to utilize, and I don't want to confuse that. So we have that there. And we also have the video clips. I'll put my overlay back on screen. So that's how that would work for dynamic scenes. That's fairly intuitive. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot to it. I mean, in terms of differences between what I'm used to with StreamYard, this seems like I could very much get right at home in this system. But now, what about these pro scenes? What if I wanted to do something a little more custom? Let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a full pro scenes training or a how-to video. But what I did right before recording this video today was essentially design several scenes so that we could walk through them and you can see what is possible without having to take the full 20-30 minutes to do a full demo. So now on this side here, we've got our pro scenes. And so the first pro scene is the graphic for the beginning of the show. how it all works. Let's figure it out together. And so you'll see here now I've got the layers section, and in here I just have this one graphic. That is the show thumbnail, and I'm gonna actually hide it. You can see that that goes away. I'm gonna show it again. Then also we have the cold open. Now the cold open is actually where I just kind of talk about my own stuff. As I'm starting up the show, I want to change this camera. Let me see if I can do that by unlock it first. And then, oh, here we go. We just simply select camera 3. We select camera 3. It doesn't have an audio source. That's good to know that you have all that ability there. Now, I want you to see something. As I click on this, once I've unlocked it here, I can hide it. I can show it. I've got some options here in terms of lock. I can edit the name, all that stuff. But up at the top here, I have a number of options. I can do the frame. I can set my dimensions specifically to what I want them to be. I can restore aspect ratio. I have the ability to set my lower third or select a custom lower third. I can do some style and effects. I can actually round the corners. I can do some transparency if I wanted to. Not that I would want to, but you can also crop it if you so choose. And you can actually decide where you want it in terms of layer priority or get rid of it. You have all that options right there at the top. So this would be the scene I would go from as I get ready to go into one scene to the other. And on this side here in Pro Scenes, if you click on the 3 dots, you can actually duplicate the scene if the scene is set up the way you want it. You can actually decide what the background color will be, or you can actually decide on your stinger. And so in this instance, I think I just select zoom in, zoom out as my stinger, and or transition. The term that they use is stinger, but they also have transition there as well. And transition is what will happen when we bring that scene onto the screen. When I click it, zoom in, zoom out. That's what it's going to do. So on this one, we have the transition set to the default fade in. So let's click it. Boom. And that is the intro video. So after I've done my cold open, I have the intro video. And once the intro video is done, I have it set to auto switch. Right here, you see it say auto switch to the main scene, which is this one. Now, it doesn't auto switch while we are actually not live, but it would auto switch if we were live. And again, let me know in the comment section if you are interested in seeing how all that would work, if you would be interested in a full demo of building out these scenes. And you can see in this scene now, I not only have my camera, but I also have the overlay for the coaching corner. Don't have to click anything to add it. It would already be there. And that is a major difference between what we have usually done in StreamYard to what is possible here in EVMUX. That's a big, big step forward. So the next scene I have is the guest intro. So the guest intro would play, and again, it's already set to auto switch to host plus client. And that's the next scene that's here. So that scene comes up and you can see how it transitions in. I already have a number of things here. So in this scene, I have the overlay, which is just my name and my guest name. I have my camera. I have a different camera. Could probably change this camera. Let's see if we can change this camera to camera 3. Boom, look at that. And it stays with the same crop. Now, these are cropped. And I want you to see that all I did here is actually bring in a background that had the frames on it and then allowed those frames to be visible even though I've put my camera on top. So that's what that is. And of course you have layer priority. Now, what happens if I move the lower third underneath these cameras? Then once I do that, you can see that they're now underneath. And that's what I mean by layer priority. You can move that back to the top here, and you can see that that has kind of gone back to where it's supposed to be. I also have a speaker. In case if you use the speaker feature, you can actually design the scenes with the speaker in it, and that's pretty dope. So that speaker is actually set up over on the other side for where my guest would be. But I'm hiding it now so that I can showcase the other camera. And then you have the background, so I can hide the background and then not hide the background. And while you're on that particular asset in the pro scene, you can have that be visible so you can do some work with it, even though it is on the bottom of the layer priority. So that's a pretty cool setup, a pretty cool scene. And again, it's already pre-designed, ready to go, and comments would still show at the bottom. You see what that looks like. That's a really cool looking scene right there. I've got to give it to our guys at EVMUX for coming up with something really dope. Next is our Q&A video. So at this point of the show, my guest would leave and I would go back to answering my audience's questions. You can see that I put a different transition on that one. It was the arrows one that kind of goes to the side there like that. All of those are built-in transitions that come with EVMUX. And this is really cool that we have this same thing that is designed for us. And again, you can copy your scenes, duplicate your scenes, I should say, and use it as a template or a base so that you don't have to keep on putting the background and the cameras and all that other stuff. So we have the whole scene set up like this. At the bottom of the scene, of course, is the background, and we can hide that and you can see what that looks like. Using that frame again, then you have my camera, which is there. I'm going to lock that into place. You also have the lower third, which is there. I'm going to actually lock that in place too. Then we have this chat box. Now, I added this by simply going to add new layer. And then I went, instead of to, media files or slideshow, I went to apps and widgets. And in the apps and widgets, we have these all kinds of different cool things here that you can utilize. One of them is the Bible. One of them is a teleprompter. That's a really cool functionality that you can add into a particular scene, and you can just read your things right off of the screen. That's a game changer. But I added this chat box, and once you add the chat box, when you click it, you have the ability to go into the settings of the chat box and just change the dimensions, the amount of chats that will be there, the distance from the edges. You can show the avatars. But the last piece here where it says test 20 comments, I thought that was absolutely amazing. And so now I can kind of see what it's going to look like when I put this scene live. Now, hopefully comments are not flowing that fast, but this is what that scene will look like when I'm going live with EVMUX, showcasing my live chat from YouTube, Facebook, wherever I'm streaming to, directly here on screen. That is pretty dope. And you can leave that just as it is. It's ready to go. After this is done, I normally in my show go back to my main scene. And even here, again, we can just change this to the other camera source. And yeah, there you have it. The show would be done. I can actually set this to the outro video. Outro video plays. It's going to automatically go back to the first scene, which is the flyer. And on this scene, I would simply hit the end broadcast button. And that is essentially it. Okay, EVMUX, I see you doing your thing. That felt good. That felt freeing to be outside of the StreamYard box. I mean, it really had everything I am used to and a ton of other features I really like, and I'm probably gonna do a deeper dive to play around with them. They've added some more stuff since I've played with it last. I always say the best platform is the one that allows you to get it done. So if that's OneStream Live, do it. If that's EVMUX, let's go. If that's Riverside FM, press the button. Hey, for some, it's gonna be Restream or even StreamYard, and that's fine. The point is, you do the homework. You weigh the pros and cons and you make a decision. And to help you do just that, I graded all the mentioned platforms in this video right here. Ease of use, functions, and features along with pricing, all in one video. Click right here to watch, and I'll see you over there. Grace and peace, fam.